Hello, friends, and welcome to Trenton 365. This is part two of my conversation with Darrel Frater. For those of you who didn't join us for the first portion, I encourage you to check it out. It'll be available on the YouTube page for Trenton 365 as well as the Facebook page also. So during the first portion of the interview, Darrel introduced himself, and but to start off, I talked about how I met Darrel many years ago through Westminster Presbyterian Church's event that was Trenton Teen Leadership Corps is the name of the nonprofit organization, but they did a bunch of events that were driven and led by the students of that time. And I want to make sure that we give Mr. Peter, Miss Alex, and Karen Hernandez Granson all equal billing and respect for the efforts there. But Darrel, just briefly, share a synopsis of what TTLC was or is.
Wow, I would definitely say that it was an introduction to leadership, and it was a catalyst to my ability to lead and build tremendous friendships with people of my age group that were a part of the group as well. And it really opened my eyes up to the importance of relationship building and community involvement. And those things really are the foundation of what make me succeed and excel in the things I'm doing today.
Thanks. And Darrel, you also talked about how you grew up in Ewing, similar like I did. So a big shout out to Ewing High School Blue Devils, but we also represent the city of Trenton fully. So there is no crab theory here. There's no competition. We're all in this together. There's room for us all in the mall. Darrel, you left from Ewing High School and then went to college. Did your undergrad at TCNJ, majoring in business. Something I wanted to touch on was you were a Bonner as well, correct?
Yes, there was.
You're a Bonner Scholar. So just share what the Bonner Scholar is, that program, and then I have a couple questions about that.
Awesome. Yeah, the Bonner Scholar Program was amazing. It gives students an opportunity to serve their community in exchange for a scholarship that pays full for the full tuition. So I was a Bonner Scholar at TCNJ and a commuter. So that essentially was my golden ticket to a free college education for my undergrad. And I really enjoyed the experience as a Bonner because it gave me another opportunity to be a leader within my community and to be able to serve with a great incentive. And most of the work is done in the city of Trenton. Although Ewing is located, TCNJ is located in Ewing. Most of the work for the Bonner Scholars are done in the city of Trenton.
Mm-hmm. And a big shout out to the Bonner Foundation as a whole. I've known the organization for a while, and the first president, Wayne Meisel, is a good friend of mine. So a big shout out to Wayne, as well as Bobby Hackett and the others, the instant colleges that have had different presidents, as well as Pat over at TCNJ. So shout out to him, his family. During this time, like we talked in the previous time, we talked about, how TTLC and your life experiences allowed you to prepare to go to Trenton, the College of New Jersey, and then from there to then transition into the business world, into this entrepreneurial space. But I wanted to ask you about this, and I think I missed it earlier. And it was at that moment when you knew that there was opportunities for you to do more than just get a job and go work somewhere. Can you talk about what that experience was like when that light switch went on, so to speak?
Yeah, I do want to just touch base and before we move on to highlight that Pat, who was at the Bonner Foundation, he actually passed away a number of years ago. So I want to condolences to his family, and just wanted to highlight the fact that he was super influential for me as a leader to watch his leadership in Bonner and just the way that he carried himself and the way that he cared about the city and cared about all the people in the program. I just wanted to kind of highlight that before we moved on. But in regards to your question, in regards to kind of my career path as well, entrepreneurship is synonymous with problem solving for me, and being able to use entrepreneurship as a way to solve complex problems in the world and in our community is something that was very appealing to me. My dad has been an entrepreneur all my life, and through his businesses and the things that he's done, I was able to see him turn nothing into something great. And just watching his grind, his hustle, and being able to provide for my family with something that he just did with his own hands and started from scratch was very appealing to me. And he used to always tell me, hey, if there's something in your mind and you wanted to bring it out to the world, go out and do it. And that's something that still with me ever since. And I've always been interested in just creating and being a creator and creating things that doesn't exist yet, and just bringing it into the world through entrepreneurship. And kind of goes back into my thesis of how I believe that entrepreneurship is one of the keys to closing the racial wealth gap. I believe that wealth is built through businesses and ownership, as opposed to working a traditional 9 to 5. In some context, I believe entrepreneurs are the ones that create the opportunity for other people to have their steady 9 to 5 income. And if there's more entrepreneurs that look like us and have ownership of businesses that become the next Ubers and the next Facebooks and Amazons, then we'll be able to see the breakdown of those wealth barriers in our communities. Because the more Black and brown millionaires and billionaires we create, those people can then invest back into the communities and help more people that look like them create wealth. And this cycle of building wealth in our communities, it's just created and it's just sustained over time with the more Black and brown entrepreneurs and also Black and brown investors. And that's kind of the component where I really want to be able to have a major role in, through educating people on how to invest in startups and in other asset classes that can make them build wealth, and also giving them opportunities and mentorship on how to do so.
Mhm. I think this might be a good time. We finished off the first segment talking about your app, TheClub, and download TheClub is where the folks should go to do this. But let's give another summary of what that is and what the impetus was behind coming up with this idea.
Yeah, it's actually an interesting story. My journey as an entrepreneur has been something that's just be really led by a spirit or a force that's greater than I. I'm a firm believer in Christianity, and I think that I'm just being guided in this entrepreneurial journey to really serve humanity. And it's funny, like my previous startup, which was a mobile app for teenagers to plan for prom, we decided that, with COVID-19, all the proms in the country are pretty much shut down. And we need to figure out a way to help students, have a memorable and enjoyable prom. So what we did was we hosted a virtual prom. And we did that on Instagram Live. And we hired DJ Jazzy Jeff, who was a popular DJ that most people know. And it was a blast. It got a lot of attention from the media, got a lot of attention from influencers and celebrities that are also a part of the virtual prom. And most excitingly, Jack Dorsey, who's the CEO of Twitter, he actually made a $45,000 donation into that virtual prom event. And that was a partnership between another app called the Not Okay app that we were able to, have those relationships with Jack Dorsey and some of the other foundations that we worked with. And through that event, that live stream virtual prom with DJ Jazzy Jeff, it hit me how important or how special a DJ live stream could be in our lives, especially given this time of the pandemic and social distancing, and the fact that these virtual experience coupled with a DJ that's curating the experience can actually be something that's very powerful and meaningful. So I just sought out to figure out how could I make this experience better and create a space where this can be done at scale with many people and happening very often, so that way there's always that experience whenever you want to log on to the app or to the place where these experiences are happening. And doing my research on the market and the opportunity and talking to a bunch of DJs, there are thousands of DJs, over 800,000 DJs globally, that are now reporting great loss of income due to the closures of clubs and venues all over the world. And what are these DJs doing now? They're trying to live stream to their audience on various platforms, but they're not able to really capture, value in terms of revenue, in the current way that these platforms are structured, and the way that these platforms do not have the proper music licenses to be able to have the DJs play the music. So I'm like, giving everything I know about the industry and my ability to build mobile apps and my access to capital through my experience with, fundraising and pitching and venture capitalists, I thought that I was, well suited to be able to tackle this problem and build a new platform that allows DJs to make money while streaming online and curating these amazing virtual parties. And then just, that idea sparked in June of last year, 2020. And within 4 months, I was able to get an app out into the market. And, I moved very quickly. And now, we're in, January of 2021. And I'm pitching and meeting a lot of investors that are interested in helping me take our platform to the next level.
Now, I want you to keep talking because I'm going right now to the Play Store and I'm going to download your app. So keep talking, Darrel Frater, about the Club app.
Yeah, no, I appreciate your support, man. It really is something that I can't do alone. And it takes the support of people like you and people in the community to help me move forward with this business. And mobile apps are not easy, but if you have the right community and you're using technology in a way to build community, that's how you succeed. And the community rises and grows together. And ultimately, this platform also plays a major role in my plan to help close the racial wealth gap or have a huge impact in closing the racial wealth gap because this app has the capability of becoming a huge platform. Let's say even the size of Facebook if I play my cards right.
Mhm.
And that can be a tremendous wealth builder. And I don't want that just to be for me. I want there to be owners of this business that are of the community and are building and investing into this platform with me so that the ownership is shared by many. So not just me or not just people on my team that are benefiting from the growth of this platform, but for all the people that are investors and have ownership could potentially, have a large return on their investment. And using this as an example of people building wealth through investing in early stage startups is what I'm going to use as a way to show other people the opportunities in getting in on these deals early. And these are some of the things that are only capable now after President Barack Obama's administration released the Jobs Act in 2012, where now unaccredited investors are able to invest in early stage startups. And to be an accredited investor, that means you have to have a net worth of over $1 million or make over 200K in income by yourself yearly or 300K in income joint with your spouse. And in 2012, when Barack Obama's administration made the Jobs Act, he enabled non-accredited investors, people that don't meet that criteria, to have the ability to invest in these early stage startups for the opportunity for them to to invest in these asset classes that people over time has made a lot of money from, and that has been keeping the rich richer and not being able to have people that do not have that income level participate in these asset classes. And it's crazy because prior to this law or the Jobs Act, you're able to go spend all your money in a casino, but you're not allowed to invest it into a early stage startup. So these are some things that the laws are changing rapidly right now and making it more equitable for people that do not have the income level of an accredited investor to get in on these deals. And also they're changing the rules of who becomes an accredited investor. Because now there are other ways to be an accredited investor, not just by having that income level, but also by people that have the education in terms of like taking some of the exams like the Series 7 and other financial accreditation exams allow you to become an accredited investor where you can invest in early stage startups. So I'm super passionate about that. So I can go on and on about that and just how I see it playing a major role in reducing the income disparities. But I would love to, continue the conversation on that another time. Or, if anyone ever has questions about this kind of stuff, I'm always open to talk to people about investing in early stage startups and understanding how to diversify your investments that it can help build wealth for the future.
Darrel Frater is my guest here on Trenton 365, and a shout out to WING and WPHY for hosting the Trenton 365 program. Darrel, sticking with what you were talking about as far as the opportunities for folks to invest in startups and how that has changed with the Jobs Act under the Obama administration. So again, for those who are not high earners, who don't make $300,000 jointly or over $200,000 as an individual prior to Obama, you did not have the opportunity to invest into other strategic platforms, which again creates and continues to expand that divide of the haves and the have-nots. And many folks, instead of looking at the facts, will look at the color of a person's skin or their ethnicity or religious faith or something else instead of what the facts are. And the facts are changes like this in our structure allow more opportunities to get access to wealth. And when we talk about wealth, we're talking about generational wealth. And sometimes the largest transfer of wealth is going to be happening and occurring. And we'll be talking about that more with the cannabis investors and the folks who understand how the cannabis industry is going to take over this $25 billion industry. But let's talk a bit more, Darrel, about how individuals, friends, and family can talk to you and the club with investing within your app.
Yeah, so with the Jobs Act and what Obama's administration did, they allowed for platforms to be created where people can invest in these early stage startups. So one of the platforms that I'm leveraging right now, it's called My Venture, MI Venture, MIVENTURE. That's a platform that we are crowdfunding on. If you want to look into that and to be an investor in our app, TheClub, you can check out that. But there are also many other platforms that allow you to invest in early stage startups. Some of my favorites are Republic, which is an equity crowdfunding platform, Start Engine, WeFunder, Seed Invest. There's just a lot of opportunities now where you can find great businesses online to invest in and potentially do well in regards to owning equity or investing into these different companies. But I also encourage definitely due diligence, do your homework, because these are risky asset classes. This is not putting your money in the banks. This is not putting your money in the stock market. These are early stage startups. So the risk is a lot different from those other asset classes. And you have to be able to understand the potential upside and the potential downside, and never risk more than you can afford to lose. Because you want to make sure that you're protecting yourself and you're not putting yourself in a bad position in the short term for the potential in the future. You got to make sure you balance and manage your risk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when that gets into the conversations about dollar cost averaging and then some of the other apps that are out there where people can systematically or just invest small amounts over a sustained amount of time to build up equity that way. But there's lots of opportunities for you to get involved in that, folks. And again, the Trenton 365 show brings on people who are my guests. Some of them are professionals with accreditation in what they're speaking of, but many like Darrel, who will let you know, hey, this is what I'm doing, but do your own due diligence. Don't just take what I'm saying. And that should be the case that everyone does. Because together, when we work together collectively, having those hard conversations across the table from each other equally is when we're going to be able to build a better community for everyone. You know, Darrel, you've talked about so much. I'm blown away. I can't wait to share this with the folks from Westminster and others, who knew you longer than I have. For the families and things that are out there, everyone's having some difficult times right now. Do you have any encouragement that you'd like to share with any folks out there right now?
Yeah, no, I would definitely say that keep being optimistic about the future. Make sure that, when things are not looking, very, positive, or things are not looking, there's a lot of doubt and uncertainty. Just look towards the positive things in life and just be optimistic that, all the hardships and the temper are that they may be temporary, and they are able to, persevere through these tough times, and just have faith that things are going to be brighter and better. And I know a lot of people that are suffering through troubling times, and they're depressed and having issues. And I encourage everyone to kind of, work together and communicate with your loved ones, and really just work and try to just push through these tough times, because it will pass. Even though in the moment sometimes it doesn't seem like it, but these tough times will pass, and we will be looking towards a brighter future. So stay optimistic. It's something that has got me through tough times. Just have optimism, and then things work itself out. And that's my message to the people.
Oh man, that's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you for that, Darrel. And finishing up, finally, for yourself, you told me that you're busy in school getting that MBA. You got this app. You're also a serial entrepreneur investor. So besides the club app, and people are going to go there because we're going to share the download the club. Um, what else do you have going on in the next year or so?
Yeah, I'm super active in my family business. Me and my father and my family, we have a construction and a kitchen and bath company. So we're actually opening up a showroom on Southern Street, 729 Southern Street, which is our kitchen and bath showroom. So if you're looking to get your kitchen done, remodeled, we got the cabinets. We are super excited about opening up that showroom. So check us out, Advanced Homes Kitchen and Bath, and 729 Southern Street in Trenton.
All right, Advanced Homes, 729 Southern Street in Trenton. Darrel Frater, serial entrepreneur, and make sure you go download TheClub, which is an app, and this is for people who want to hear parties virtually, and also for all my DJ friends out there. Y'all know who you are. We're going to be reaching out to you and connect you with Darrel. Darrel, thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thank you, Jacque. It's been a pleasure.
All right, can't wait to have you back. Folks, you've been listening and watching the Trenton 365 show, heard over WIMG 1300 and WPHY, as well as all over the social media scene. If you have some questions, someone I should be reaching out to, connecting with, don't hesitate. Just hit me up by sending an email, Trenton, the numbers 365 in the word show@gmail.com. And remember, folks, it's always about justice, peace, and humility.